Everybody, you are watching and listening to the We Are Rising podcast. It's your host, Andrew Benjamin, joined by a special guest today, Mike from Ohio. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, Andrew. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Just preparing for my own fight, metaphorically and literally. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the fights at RIZIN 48 from last weekend. Saitama Super Arena drew 11,247, a good number, I would say, having two Brazilians on top with no Star Kai or Mikuru or on that level.
Ren.
Or Ren, yeah, or Ren. Well, he was there. He was there, doing mock injections on his ass, which was funny. Did you watch the show live?
I watched the first 7 fights and I fell asleep after. Just
Same here. Yeah. I guess first things first, we could talk about the show. It was free, which I wish I knew when I did the previous show, because I think for something like that, at least a week notice would have been great. It's not 2 days or 1 day before.
Yeah, I actually paid for full price and then eventually got a refund. But
that's good. You're not the only one who got a refund, so that's good. At least they at least they didn't like pull like, oh, listen, well, you paid before we announced it was free, So that's good. That's good on Rising. Give them.
It builds goodwill with me, at least, because that they didn't have to do that. They could have easily been pricks about it, but they weren't.
Yeah.
So good for them. Thank you for that.
Do you have any sort of inkling why they decided to make this show for free?
I can only speculate, but maybe it wasn't selling well, and they wanted to they figured, why not just make it free, give some exposure, maybe some good word of mouth. That's really the only thing I can think of, because it was very odd that out of the blue it was free.
Well, because we all thought it was a glitch. We all were thinking like, oh, this has got to be like a glitch or something, and no, it was actually like legitimately free.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I can really think of that seems logical, but it would have been worth the $20, because that was a very good show.
I hope I would like to see. I've always said that RIZIN should at least offer one show a year free. I wasn't expecting this show. I figure like a landmark show, non-numbered show would be the apt type of show to offer for free. I do wish we could get on YouTube as well. I wonder if also they're just doing this to kind of boost subscriber numbers as well.
Could be
counts on their thing.
Could be.
But that explains, because I know people were asking, is this going to be on a Beam Alive? And it kind of explains why. Because why would a Beam Alive charge, or the Beam Alive app charge us money for something that we're getting for free that's legally available to us?
Right.
But yeah, this was a good show to have for free. Iberian Otaku, good friend of the RIZIN fam. I think they were trying to gain an international audience. That's possibly it. Yeah, that's possibly it. It's kind of like, was it sacrifice? What is it? Spend money to make money, maybe?
Oh, the K1 philosophy.
Well, not as bad as K1, which is like, oh, we're gonna have this huge big show that so many people want to see, and it's like, oh no, we're not gonna show it because we're gonna give the excuse of CIS or CSI, whatever it is, supposedly owns our rights, which I'm still skeptical of anyway. But yeah, what a busy week that was. What a busy week. That's my theory behind maybe some of the reffing. I know some people have some issues with the reffing in some of the matches, with how the finishes went. Because like when they showed Brian Minor, I was like, what? Wait, why is Brian Minor here? Why is he was just there for the bare knuckle fights, but like he's never ref RIZIN MMA matches before, as far as I can remember. He usually bring in Jason Herzog, but you had UFC in Paris, you had PFL in wherever that was. You had the Pancras shows, you had K1. So if you're a referee that's this day, listen, you were definitely working. You definitely had some work going on.
Oh yeah.
I guess we should start from the top down.
Yeah.
And as everybody, of course, predicted, if I can find there we are. Satoshi KO's Luiz Gustavo, exactly how everybody thought that this would go.
Oh, of course.
I guess the big first question is: do you think it was a bad stoppage, or early stoppage, or a right stoppage?
I thought it was a tad premature. Gustavo was hurt, but he was still fighting back. I can see why they stopped it, or the ref stopped it, but I would have let it go because it looked like he may have been out for like a second and just started up kicking again. So hard to tell in that instance, but he didn't look out to me.
So they showed that one of the replays, and he clearly went down.
Yes.
He was knocked out, like going down. Mm-hmm. But as he went down, I guess he regained consciousness or whatever. So I differentiate between an early and bad stoppage. Bad stoppage to me is when like, it's like that. There's that, Sarah McMahon and Ronda Rousey. That to me was a bad stoppage because McMahon was not out. Yeah, she took a body punch, but I think she was going down for a takedown, but Herb Dean immediately stepped in and she just immediately got up and was like, what's going on? Another bad stoppage. Francisco Trinaldo, and I'm forgetting his opponent. You know that fight, the one where like the guy was just like dead on the ground and Herb was like, I forgot who it was. Maybe something the chat can remember, but like I think Trinaldo knocked this guy out. This guy was just like he was dead on the ground. Sorry?
Out of it, and then
but he was knocked out, and Herb Dean was like, you continue. And Trinaldo looked at the referee and was like, what the fuck? Oh, like, you want me to still beat him down? Yeah, like that. A bad stoppage or early stoppage, I'm gonna say, would be like something like this. I'm trying to think of like another example of an early stoppage. I'm really trying. Oh, you know what was an example? The Kana Watanabe Sugiyama.
Yes, from
Yaranoka.
From the Heisei last Yaranoka show in 2018.
She was knocked out. She wasn't out. Yeah, she was out, but then she immediately regained consciousness.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. That's how I differentiate early, bad. Bad means like it should not have been stopped. It should not have been stopped or should have been stopped. Early is that like, okay, you could have let it go on, but the stoppage itself is not bad. That's how I differentiate.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. You see it in boxing all the time.
Yeah. Chris Cushman has a good question. Would you give him more time since they get stunned, but not out? He was definitely out when he went down, but here's how I see it as well. It was a title fight, main event. I think it would have been no issue had the referee just let it continue on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gustavo didn't protest a stoppage, unlike Juan, which we'll get to later. And this is I don't know what's next for Satoshi. I think the only, like, if they did an immediate rematch, do you think that would be a fair match to have?
No, I don't. I think Gustavo would need to win another fight or two to get back in line. I think that a rematch with, I believe it's Patricky Pitbull who beat him. I know you don't want to see that, but I feel like
no one wants to see it.
But I feel like that's the logical choice. Just because there's a storyline, and who else is he going to fight right now?
Oh, if they have a fight, I presume it'll be a title fight. Would it be? Patricky's also on a bunch of losses. He's on 2 or 3 losses.
I know. I wouldn't make it a title fight. I know you don't. I know generally we don't like that, but in this case, because of the storyline and Satoshi trying to avenge a loss, I think I'd be willing to book it in this case.
What about it? Well, here I said this. Depending on how the fight with Paul Hughes goes, AJ McKee I think would be a perfectly suitable rematch and for the title.
Yes, he is. If Bellator's or if PFL's willing to let him come over,
I think so. Well, they still have that 31st show, the December 31st show, so I don't see why. But also he's got that match with Paul Hughes. You don't know how that's going to go. He could lose. He could break a bone. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to you in a second, Falling Star. Usami or Bay Noah.
Usami just lost, so he's got to get back. And Beinoa's not ready.
Yeah, if they even did a non-title, I give Beinoa like less than a minute in that match.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't bring up a good point. The rematch with Tofik.
Yes.
I think that's kind of, you notice how these two matches, these two title matches were supposed to be, I picked Tofik for the first one and I picked Gustavo for this one. And they both ended almost so quickly.
Yeah, they did.
Isn't that so funny? It's just so, it's a
testament to Satoshi. I mean, because he countered Gustavo with a low left with a perfect short right hand.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I didn't even see it initially but it was like, wow, Satoshi's striking has gotten a hell of a lot better. So
yes, he's no longer afraid to strike.
No, he's not. So I can't say that I'm surprised, but I'm not super surprised. I am surprised that Gustavo was dropped as quickly as he was.
Oh, absolutely, yes, by Satoshi, no less.
Because he took a lot of Poirier's best shots, and Poirier can punch.
Yes, yeah. I don't know what it was,
Perfect shot. It's the shot that you don't see coming that hurts you.
Yeah. The other person who I was thinking of who could possibly face Satoshi, it's a dark horse, but the new deep lightweight champion, Shunta Nomura, who just beat.
He was someone I'd like to see in RIZIN, but doesn't he want to go to UFC?
Yes, he does. But if he's smart, he knows the easiest pathway to UFC at this point seems to be RIZIN, at least one of them. So yeah. So if he wants to get to UFC, unless he pulls a Tyra thing where he's like, no, UFC only. I'm gonna stay in deep until that is. Falling Star says, I'm surprised that RIZIN didn't take New Year's with only tease New Year's with it only 2 months away. I guess they aren't finished BKF negotiations will be on the card. Yeah. And if they're doing something with PFL as well, who knows? I think they're also waiting to see how the next show goes, how this one went. Because I'm sure we'll see some people from this show on that show as well.
Yeah. And also Seika Izawa said something about wanting Shaydullaev to fight on the Nagoya card.
Oh, he did. Oh, I missed that. Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, or he suggested it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, what would you say? Anybody who you would have in mind for Gustavo next? Besides Yachi?
Show Patrick Usami.
I think that's good. I think that's very, very, very good.
They're coming off losses now. Usami, that fight pissed me off, but I think it makes sense.
I would be fine with that. I'm trying to think. If you even wanted it, did Tofik and Luiz fight in the Grand Prix or
no? I don't think they did.
I would almost. If you can't,
I'm positive they didn't.
I would almost want to see that because it's kind of like it would be a good like what if fight since it's from that era. I know that also he was supposed to face Johnny Case at some point. Luiz and Johnny Case were supposed to have a fight, but that fell through for some reason.
With who?
Johnny Case.
No, against who?
Oh, Gustavo.
He might have.
Fight. I think they were supposed to fight at one point, but I think one of them got injured. But I think that'd be fine. If Case is still wanting to fight. Mm-hmm. I think right now probably lightweight is right now the most. I think is the most interesting division. I think
I think it's featherweight or flyweight, but yeah, lightweight got neat, but it still needs
because we have a dominant champion for once. There's never besides Jiri. There's been no dominant champion that has consistently defended title. Kyoji was dominant, but remember, he had the title, he got injured, vacated, got the title back, rescinded it. The bantamweight title has been a fucking mess since like the beginning, so I don't count that.
I mean, Chihiro at least made a defense.
He made I'll give him that. I'll give you that. He did make a defense, but now he's injured. I presume he'll be back, but listen, you just never know. Satoshi has been consistently at least defending this title.
Yes. Yeah, he has.
And other than Jiri, I think he's maybe the only guy who's defended title the most, their respective title the most. But yes, listen, I'm looking forward to whoever fights Satoshi next. What about this? Would you do? How about Spike Carlisle? Can you fit Spike Carlisle in there maybe versus Gustavo or
Gustavo versus how about since they won, I know he's not very exciting, but how about a Carlisle versus Yachi?
I think that'd be fine.
Or how about this? How about if Tofik is fighting at Landmark, like is rumored, right?
Yeah.
How about have on New Year's Eve, provided he's not hurt, Tofik Musai versus Spike Carlisle?
That's very tough. That's almost like I would just do Spike and Tofik on Nagoya. I don't think you can really plan for any fighters on Nagoya to be on December unless like they get 10-second knockout or something. Mm-hmm. That's cutting it way too close, I think, in my opinion.
That hasn't stopped the RIZIN before.
I know, but it also, listen, you could be like Joe Arai and decide to take a fight 3 weeks or a month after you go into a brawl and then you get knocked out by under 500 fighters. So listen, it's not always, sometimes sometimes don't get the fight. Mm-hmm. But what a way to cap off a main event for a show. And yeah, those first round knockouts were a theme of the entire show, and it continued on with Naoki Inoue TKOing Soo-Chul Kim to become hopefully a consistent bantamweight champion. Though I don't think that's going to happen. I didn't expect this to happen. I thought it'd go all 3 rounds. I thought it'd be close, but I know Isha on his podcast, City Life Project, did say that he thought the stoppage was a little bit early. I think that when you poke your body outside the ring to avoid punches, it's kind of like almost like it's like in sumo.
Mm-hmm. And it's also like what Yuki Motoya did against Takizawa.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, when you do that, it basically is like almost going out of bounds. It's kind of like you lose the fight, like, or what is it, Virtual Fighter? I think, or Tekken used to have that thing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Soul Blade, Soul Calibur did too.
Mm-hmm. Kobe Day says this is the major problem with the Spike versus Kim fight. Killed off Kim and Spike just lost to Satoshi. I think they were kind of expecting Kim to win. What was that? Kobe Day says the Kim stoppage was a little bit early. He goes, I lost some money betting on it. That's funny. Chris Cushman says, who should Ren fight next? I think Takagi.
Who?
Ryo Takagi.
Because
Takagi's not going to fight Chihiro because they're training partners. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have, you could kind of have him. He's undefeated in RIZIN.
Or Yuta Kubo.
Yuta, no, I think he beat Saito. If anything, he deserves more. He deserves that.
Yeah, but then again, with the K1 link, that could be a potential.
That's true. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true as well. So I mean, if you want to talk about also improving striking, Inoue's striking as well.
That was impressive. Like his jab was phenomenal in that fight.
Yeah, listen, I thought that we were going to have scrambles. This fight didn't even go to the ground, really.
No, it really didn't. Inoue dominated the striking. I was really surprised at it. He beat the hell out of Soo-Chul Kim. Like, Kim didn't do much at all, anything.
I don't think he got any offense in. He may have gotten, like, some kick or jab in, but I think it was all Inoue.
Like, Inoue's jab and his combinations in general were just on point. It was very surprising.
Yeah. I mean, so... Okay, the big question is bantamweight. So there's many bantamweights in Japan. I have suggested that there's a Grand Prix, a prospect Grand Prix that has Junya Hibino, Shohei Noze, Akimoto, Fukuda, new deep bantamweight champion.
Mm-hmm. He's not a prospect, but
he's not a prospect, but I'll just include him because
he's new at the weight.
Yeah, a prospect. Yeah, let's go with that. Joji Goto.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. You could put Shadulev. You could put somebody else. You could find anybody at 135. I don't know. Get the guy who choked out Shuto. I don't know. I don't care. You could get 6 people in there, and the winner of that could go on to face Naoki. Because I honestly don't know who else in RIZIN right now is who winning wise or rank wise can fight him.
Maybe you could do. No, wait, he already beat Motoya. Never mind.
No, it's in that fight. That fight is still fresh in my mind. I remember, and he just dominated
Yes,
him on the ground.
that's why I stopped myself.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I don't know how else you can find a competent. And also, here's a great thing about that is if you do that prospect Grand Prix, if if Naoki leaves and he has to vacate, just make that Grand Prix for the title. You know, like that. You know, this is going to be the issue of Rise is that anybody can just kind of up and leave, even your champion. So this is what you have to deal with. I don't know. What do you think about that, Mr. Mike?
I'm not the biggest fan of Grand Prix, because you can't control booking, but the more I think about it, you might not have a choice. I mean, it does build up new people, but there's no guarantee they won't leave midway through the tournament as well.
Kobe Day says, does Ryzen not book Inoue versus Horiguchi? You see, here's the thing, but Horiguchi said he's done with bantamweights. I think he's done with bantamweights. I mean, I think that's a big match, a very interesting match.
Yeah.
But but here's the thing. If it's for the title, if Horiguchi wins, we're now back to square one. If you don't put it for the title, it's just like, it's bantamweight's a mess.
Do you fast track Akimoto?
No.
I wouldn't, but I'm saying, would they?
I would hope not. He's only 5-0, 6-0 now.
6-0, yeah.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't. If you wanted to do just for Kuda, I kind of would not.
I wouldn't have an issue with that. I would.
But that's only not. It's not even from like an earning. It's just like because there's nobody else, and it's like at least that seems like an interesting stylistic match. I think.
How about Shoko Sato?
No. After how he fought.
I know why, but it's one of those deals.
But also, Naoki beat him.
Did they fight?
Yeah.
Was it March in Nagoya?
I believe it was.
Never mind then, because that should tell you how much I remember that fight then.
Yeah. So, that's it's up Schitt's Creek as far as I'm concerned with bantamweight title. Soo-Chul Kim, he's supposed to be fit in that Road FC tournament. I don't think he's going to be in that Road FC tournament next. If he does, I hope he does not. I really hope he says no.
He needs a rest.
Yeah, he needs to. His wife needs to get him get that switch. He needs to play some games for like a few months, come back, reset. Who would you put him up against?
I put him in with Did he fight Motoya?
I don't know. He didn't fight Motoya.
I'd put him with Motoya. That'd be a good fight.
I think it would be. I would not be listen. I know that Kobe Day says the Shoko Sato fights are so bad. That's a fair fight to put in as well. I hope Kim wins that.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, you could banish him against Ushiku. I wouldn't wish that on him.
Yeah. If I'll say this though, if Naoki does leave the UFC while champion, I'm gonna say RIZIN, please start having championship clauses in your contract. Stop. This is one of the parts where we say RIZIN's too nice. You could be like UFC and be too much of a dick with like Francis Ngannou, but then the flip side is, if your champion says, "Hey, UFC offered me a deal, can I go?" And I'll just vacate, and you say, "Sure." I mean, that's kind of that's what you do in LFA or CFFC. Yeah. Speaking of Yuki Motoya came from behind to choke out Shinobu Ota in an unnecessary rematch, and this is why I said this is an unnecessary rematch because what did Ota get out of this? Nothing.
A loss.
What did Motoya get out of this? Another win.
Looked pretty good doing it.
I mean, well, he was losing. You can't. If this were judged by unified rules, he was clearly losing by damage, by strikes. I think.
I don't agree with you on that one.
You don't think so?
I thought Motoya was countering Ota to hell.
He had the cut though. He did.
I know he did, but I thought Ota was landing a few punches. But I thought Motoya
he took down. I think he took down Motoya also.
Maybe once or twice, as far as I recall. But I thought Motoya was doing a very good job countering him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Like Ota, what do you do? Well, did Ota retire? Did he say he was retiring? Or did he say he was going to retire?
I think he said that in the aftermath, but I think he may have rescinded it. I'm not sure.
I figured. Yeah, I mean, the only fight I could think of is, and he fought Ashizawa already. Ota
Mhm.
versus Cozy. I think that's a fine fight.
Yeah. Koji. Yeah, bantamweight. There's not, other than the usual suspects, there's not a lot there.
No, there is a lot of suspect, but there's so much turnover, and then you have some bantamweights that are going to flyweight, and then some that are going to featherweight, or I don't know, coming from featherweight, I don't know, or leaving like Juan did, or now apparently Shoji's back as well. So yeah, a question: do you think that Ota can make 125?
No,
You don't think so?
I don't think he looked pretty big to me, but
He's short though. He's like
he is.
5'3", 5'4".
He is, but he's stocky. He's really well built.
Would you do a rematch of Kuramoto?
Yes. I forgot about Kuramoto.
Yeah, if he's still fighting, I don't know if he is. Sorry, I see. There's a. I thought Ota was going to do better in this fight. Well,
I did too.
Well, that's why they booked it, because they're like, oh, Ota's striking has improved. Motoya's not really a striker. You could get your win back, and then you win that, and you could go face whoever wins the title, because you haven't faced either of them. You could do Ota versus Kota Miura. So the one thing about that is that they both train at Brave.
And is Kota what?
I don't know what Kota's doing. He's in Thailand making coffee commercials or whatever. So
he hasn't fought in almost a year.
Yeah, I don't think he has any plans on fighting, really. Yeah, he's doing commercials of Buakaw in Thailand, making good money and probably influencer money through his Instagram, because I think he's the number one. I think he has more followers than Kai and Mikuru on Instagram. Wow. I believe.
Wow.
Oh, just to let you know, so if anybody wants to help with Chris Gary's review of recap of RIZIN 48 tomorrow night or Saturday, reach out to him, or through the Focus Fights. What do you call it? We'll have it at the end. We'll have at the end link tree to reach out. Don't worry. We'll get to that. Yeah. Toulon didn't read Bantamweight's a mess. And also, you know who was a mess? It was Juan Archuleta at the weigh-ins. Now, here's the thing. I watched all the press conferences. Juan was not there. I was like, that's so strange. Why is he not there? I thought maybe he just didn't want to do it because he's just focusing on like the fight or whatever. And no, it's not. Because he was struggling with his weight cut at 145.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say that I get him missing 135, but then you go up a weight. Well, first of all, he made the weight anyway for the last fight, Clever, and then he claimed that he only had 10 days to make weight for this fight. I don't believe that. I honestly don't believe that. I saw the video. Shingo called him weeks before, and it was on SureDog about a month ago. So
yeah, I call BS on that one.
There was a lot of shenanigans from Juan in this fight. He complained about the repositioning.
Seemed okay to me.
It was fine. It was prevented him from one of them from going out. Then he complained about the stoppage. He said he didn't tap out.
It looked like he did.
No, he did. I don't get it. He tapped. No, first I only heard the verbal tap, and I know that was a lot of fighters who were like, "Yeah, I didn't say tap or I give up or whatever. I didn't get it." But they showed that one angle, and you can see him tap.
Yeah, I saw it too.
He screamed, and he also yelled.
Yeah, like it just feels like he's making excuses.
So, we like to say, "Oh, is somebody RIZIN worthy?" Yada yada yada. I say if Juan doesn't have another fight or is planning to be offered another fight, I say cut bait. I think
he's not worth it.
No, he's probably getting paid good money. He's fucked up 2 chances. one was a title fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what else to say. Like,
there's nothing more to say. Shaydullaev dominated. He's a stud, and he's for real.
Yeah, and Shaydullaev, took the fight, no issues at all, and looked, another first round. This man's allergic to the third round. I think he's scared of third rounds because he never wants to see it.
He's phenomenal. Like, wow.
This guy, listen, and I have said this 1,000 times. I'm gonna say 1,002 times. I want to see Dautbek versus Shaydullaev. Make it for New Year's Eve. Maybe Nagoya as well, or for Nagoya, excuse me. And then whoever wins that is a clear number one contender
for whenever Chihiro gets free sometime next year.
Yes, yeah, or whoever's champion next year if he does defend the title before then.
Yeah,
like I'm just thinking of all the matches they could do. Great thing is also with Shaydullaev, you can have him for 145 or 135. He's fought at 135 before, so he can finish at 145, then go to 135. Take on Naoki or take on Ota, yada 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 yada. This if this guy's not locked down, he's going to UFC by like next year.
Yep. Yeah, and there's not much to say. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, now so you're done with Juan. No more chances.
Yeah, unless if he will stop the shenanigans and try to make weight, I guess put him in. Just use him.
He's fought at 155 before. Should he fight at 155? He's fought at 155 at King the Cage.
He may not have a choice if he wants to continue his career.
Well, okay, let's do it for shits and giggles. Let's just say RIZIN says, okay, you have to go to 155 now. Who do you put Juan against at 155? In his first 155 fight at RIZIN?
Yoshinori Horie.
You're good. He's gonna. That would be a brutal. That would be a brutal fight for Juan. That would be really bad.
Or have him fight Patrick Usami or Bay Noah.
I don't know about Bay Noah. I don't know about the Bay. He could win that, but the Horie fight he would lose badly. But yes, I didn't write it down in the banners, but we had intermission fight announcements. Well, we had one actual fight announcement, and the other ones are wait and see. We got Ryusei Ashizawa taking on Shoji, and later announced 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? It was Ayaka Hamazaki versus Jiri Shim.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is that they're going to do Claire Lopez against Shim, but Claire is injured her ACL.
Okay.
So she's out for a while. Early thoughts on Shoji versus Ashizawa?
They're trying to build Ashizawa up.
Well, he's a striker. Shoji's a striker, so this is the perfect way.
It's ideal. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. Although Shoji, I think he's grappled before, but he's also in his 40s now.
Yeah.
So he's brought in to lose. That's all you need to know about this matchmaking.
They also announced Vugar Karamov supposed to have a fight.
Yeah.
And then Fat Ninja is going up as well.
Is he going to middleweight or was he actually heavy?
I heard heavier weight. I didn't hear someone said it was heavyweight. I thought I heard heavier weight.
I thought I heard heavier weight.
So I assumed middleweight. That's what I assumed. He doesn't look like he's not a heavyweight anymore. He looks like he's Yeah.
No, but I was kind of skeptical when he tried welterweight. It just seemed like his body was too big for that.
Oh yeah. Who do you think it could be?
His opponent?
Yeah.
Do
you think J Wolf's right and it's going to be Gegard?
Who said that?
J Wolf was initially positioning Gegard versus Fat Ninja.
You wouldn't bring Gegard Mousasi in for Nagoya. Maybe someone from Deep.
That's true. It could be Deep, or
maybe Pancrase.
Yeah, just a fat welterweight from Pancrase or something.
Or how about the Korean fighter that fought Sudario on ridiculously short notice.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Forgot
Oh,
his
Kaiju
name.
Killer.
The one, no, not Kaiju Kill.
Oh, Sudario.
The,
Oh, I know what you're talking
you're
about.
talking about
Oh,
Hidetaka.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I know
No,
what you're
just
talking about.
on short notice, like on a 5-6 week camp. Let's see what he can do.
Igor Tanabe, you can Mo Dick Judge Holden, who we haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Igor Tanabe can fight back one of the Dana White Series contenders rejects.
That's fine.
And Kobe says off the fight matrix for Japanese middleweights.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny.
I mean, he could always, I don't know, he could fight Saint. I don't know.
I know Saints. He's looked nice and slim lately, but I don't know if he's middleweights and slim. I wonder. Have you seen Rocky Martinez lately? He's lost a lot.
I know. I've seen him too, so maybe that might be an option.
That would be insane, though, because Rocky Martinez, I just have seen him like fight other heavyweights, and for him to go down.
I mean, it'd be a big step up in competition.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. We gotta talk. This one was awesome. Seika Izawa defeating Kanna Asakura, but Kanna beat her fucking ass in the third round. That third round, like, I gotta apologize. I was so wrong. I thought this was gonna be like Kanna was just gonna kind of go in, almost like take the dive, almost because she was her last fight. She's like, "Why am I doing this? I don't care." No, man, she held her own for 3 rounds. I was talking to King CeeLo. He said this should have been for the title in 5 rounds. I agree. Up those stakes, make it seem like Seika has to fight a little bit harder to keep the title. Kanna's got to fight a little bit more to keep to win the title. Man, do you think was this Kanna's best fight in her rising career?
Besides her win against Reina? Yes.
I mean, like, best fight overall. Best fight.
Yes, I do. I mean, she got dominated the first 2 rounds, but she held her. She survived, showed good submission defense like she's always done, and then despite getting out wrestled, which surprised me. But third round, she fought her heart out. She let it all out, and she did an awesome job. That was a hell of a fight.
Mm-hmm. If that was unified rules, it would be a split decision, probably, right?
No, I think it'd be unanimous 2-1 for Seika. Because I thought Seika dominated the first 2 rounds, but the third round I thought Kanna won.
This still shows that Seika her striking is what is it? Not good. No. Not good. So it brings up the question, like, what happens when she faces Reina? That's going to be the
if Reina can stop takedowns, anything can happen.
Oh yeah, we're gonna miss her. You can't deny that Kanna had such an she had the sponsorship with Sky Ticket, I think it was.
She did. And New Era.
And that was big, getting the Sky Ticket sponsorship.
I think doesn't Deep get sponsored by Sky Ticket still?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if that's through Kanna or they were doing it before Kanna. Kanna was kind of like the first lady. Honestly, I think the first lady of RIZIN almost. She really ushered in
her Reina.
Reina, yeah, but when she beat Reina, I was like, okay, she's the future atomweight star of RIZIN.
Yeah.
She had her faults as a fighter, obviously, but I think overall her legacy is a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was. There were times where she wasn't the most exciting, but her second fight with Hamasaki and this one were just great to watch.
Seika, just fight Reina next. I really don't care. I don't care. There's nobody else. Or Oshima.
Yeah.
And by the way, the fight you're thinking of was Don Juan Lin or Don Juan Kim, maybe.
I couldn't remember the name either, but like I said, I thought he deserves, and I think we both thought that he deserved another shot in RIZIN with a proper training camp.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have much to say about this fight. Do you have anything, Mike?
I'm not going to blame Shoko Sato too much for this one. Ushiku's horrible to watch.
Yeah. I don't want to see Ushiku ever again in a RIZIN show.
No.
The meme is dead. This is no longer. It's no longer. When I saw this fight, I was like, this fight's going to be bad. And then it, it was really bad. Is this the worst fight in RIZIN history?
It's either that or the Ryuichiro Sumimura versus Let's Gota. That was horrible.
But you see, here's the thing. I wasn't looking. That fight had two fighters that were just. This had one veteran and one former champion on it.
Yeah, who are quality fighters.
Yes. So I don't want to say that Sumimura or Yamashi, Let's Go, or they're not quality fighters, but not at this level.
No,
so
they're not. I mean, despite Sumimura being around the smaller organizations.
Yeah. Kind of equally as bad, but not as much. Kind of, at first it was. Anyway, Yachi humps Patrick Usami for 3 rounds, basically.
Yeah,
to get the win.
I don't know what happened with Usami, but he looked like he gassed really quick.
Oshima's booked for Invicta? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she is.
Can we just say that Izawa's avoiding her? I think it's quite obvious now at this point that Izawa is avoiding her.
I don't know why.
This is like John Jones and Tom Aspinall level of avoiding. Anyway, it would have been how funny would have been if Usami choked guillotined Yachi. Did you hear Damian Brown on
he had him twice.
Yeah, did you hear Damian Brown said he was getting so frustrated looking at him like doing the guillotine wrong?
Yeah, well, he's a striker. I'm not surprised by that at all.
Yeah. And apparently his corner wasn't telling him how to do the guillotine properly as well. I think they were just telling him to just squeeze when that's what you didn't want to do, because then his arms got tired and he had no more strength to punch, no more energy to punch. Yachi's a gatekeeper now. Whether you like it or not, he is a 155 gatekeeper.
Yep. And Usami's got to work on his grappling. Pretty simple. Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Yachi before, what should be next of him.
Maybe Spike Carlisle, like I suggested earlier. Maybe Poirier.
Oh God, I see. Yachi could get fucked up badly in that Poirier fight. I think. Here's the problem, though: is that let's just say if Yachi somehow does win, would they dare do Satoshi Yachi 3? You think they would do that?
If he earns a title shot, yes.
Actually, that reminded me. Someone suggested just going back to Satoshi Baranoi versus Satoshi.
Who?
Mansour Baranoi.
Oh,
the guy who defeated Yachi. I just remember this because I was like, what?
Why not? If they can get him, sure.
You can say Usami's got to work on his grappling.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, I know that a bunch of grapplers, Fat Ninja, Jinosuke Kashimura, here's a name I forgot to put into that Grand Prix.
Is he bantamweight?
Yes, he's bantamweight.
Okay.
A bunch of grapplers train with him at Battle Box, which is Usami's gym, for their boxing. But I never see Usami at Igloo with those guys. So here's what's going to happen. Those guys can come train, stand up with Usami at Battle Box. And then the Usami can go train grappling at Igloo. Unfortunately, also, because it's Battle Box, Minoru Kimura will not be there to pass around his secret juice. So, keep that in mind as well, because he's going to be occupied for 20 days and maybe more. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yachi's, I think he's the gatekeeper. He could win. I think even if he won his next 10 fights, you still don't give him title shots. I really don't think you give that. So that ended the decisions, which is great.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go back to the first round decisions. We talked a little bit about Ryo Takagi before, but choked out Hagiwara on the first. Did you see Takagi put his hands out for the glove touch and what was it? Hagiwara kind of just he didn't slap it and turn around, but he kind of just ignored it. He kind of just turned around.
Yeah, he did. He got dominated. There's not much to say. His grappling has not gotten better.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's ever going to get better. I just don't think he's a guy that's just not his thing. Some people are the opposite. Some people wind up becoming like Satoshi, where you're good at both. Yeah, unfortunately, here's the thing as well. I don't know. I'm kind of maybe walking back a little bit, but if they didn't book Hagiwara again, I would be fine with that. I think he's an example of a pre-pandemic fighter that you needed to fill cards.
And got hot.
Yeah, he got hot, and he right now he's good for breaking down breaking down, or BKFC. Yeah.
That's really all you can do with him at this, or maybe even Lethway. I don't know. But even then, at this point, there's not much you can really do with him.
Yeah. His ceiling is, we know his ceiling now. I still can't believe that Takeda didn't submit him. That's still like, I'm still baffled by how that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Takagi, though, I think
he's ascending. He's got potential.
Yeah. Did you see the preparation video that they did on him?
I did not.
Oh, it was so good. It's really, really, it's so good. It shows him like training wrestling, and I think the coach is like shitting on his wrestling. It was actually very, very funny. Trains at Chihiro at Hachioji Crosspoint. Is it Parash or Crosspoint? I forgot.
Yes, it's Crosspoint.
So likely they will not fight each other, but who would you put Takagi against next?
Would you put him in with Kleber? Or is that not, he's not ready?
I don't think he's not necessarily. Well, I mean, I think Kleber has the same amount of chance of submitting him that Takagi has knocking him out, honestly.
Yeah.
Would
you put him in with maybe Yuta Kubo?
I was thinking that.
Karamov?
I've heard that Karamov might be booked for somebody else, so maybe down the line, but
I know. I'm talking about like New Year's Eve if Karamov wins his upcoming.
I'm not opposed to that. You know who would be good, and I don't know what his status is, but Ilkham Nazimov.
Yeah.
We have not heard from him.
How about a rematch with Kolesnik?
No, they did that at lightweight. Also, that was the weird thing. They did that at lightweight, and also Kolesnik, I heard is booked for that
Nagoya.
Yeah. Iberian Otaku says, "How about Majima?" Well, I heard rumors that Majima might be booked for Nagoya, so who knows? Maybe, or you could do that for New Year's as well.
Would you put him with Suguru Ni?
Didn't they already? I think they already fought in.
Oh, did they fight in Pancrase?
Yeah, I think that's the one that Charlie went to. That was like really, really bloody.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, we gotta get Suguru Ni back in here at some point.
How about Oh my God. How about that the Kyrgyz, that 11-1 Kyrgyz guy? What, Ulu from Pancrase?
I don't know who. I don't know who that is.
I think he's like 11-1 now. I forgot what is he a featherweight or bantamweight?
He hasn't fought on RIZIN before?
No.
Okay. Oh.
I
Maybe somebody in the chat knows. In the meantime, Falling Star also knows what are your men, like you, I like to be referred as a man, feeling on the new brainstorming videos that RIZIN did. Since RIZIN Business Game Bear hopefully leads a very creative video production team. If you're referring to those videos where they're those brainstorming booking videos, those are great. I love those. Those are hilarious. Even when they don't subtitle them, they're I get what's going on. Did you happen to see those, Mike, by any chance?
I did not.
We got the name. What we think Judge Holden says, Kalyabek Arzikul.
Yes, that's exactly who. Shark. That's exactly who I'm talking about.
Gotcha. I'm not familiar with him because Pancrase is geo-blocked in the United States for whatever reason, even though it has English commentary. I trust your judgment. Bring him into RIZIN for a fight sometime.
He just beat Ryui Imura.
Oh, he did?
Yes, ground and pound knockout in the first round, 115.
Okay, who's his one loss?
Evgeny Bondarev in ACA.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, like, he was someone that stood out potentially that could be brought in. Maybe Ryo Tajima.
Ryo Tajima. What's that name?
From Pancrase.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay.
Just
Deep has also a ton of guys. Listen, I want to see Daisuke Nakamura back. I want I'm trying to think of other Deep guys as well that are 145, but bring those guys in and let Takagi just plow right through them as well. His striking is great. I love it. And I guess his submission game as well is also good. Did you see Hagiwara storm off at the end? He was really pissed off.
I did. I mean, like, I can get his frustration, but dude, it's like you haven't improved. He's lost what, 6 out of his last 7 fights?
Yeah.
So, I mean, outside of like doing bare knuckle, I don't see what you, like I said, I don't know what you do with him. I love Hagiwara, but like something's got to give it. So he's got to change something because it's not working.
I don't think he's got to change. I think more of like how they book him has to change if they bring him back.
They need to book him as a special attraction.
For your landmark Nagoya shows or numbered Nagoya, not Nagoya, Osaka Kansai shows. Continuing on with the KOs of the night, Akimoto KO Kintaro in the first future star. What do you think, Mike?
Oh, 100%. This kid has superstar potential. The way he was able to get up pretty quick, even after Kintaro took him down, and then just use his range and knock Kintaro out and use the rule set effectively, I was blown away because I thought Kintaro would last longer because he's pretty durable usually. This kid's got one punch power. Like that left hand was beautiful. That was just, and he's so tall and rangy for 135 too. So I would book him as quickly as possible, and I would try to lock him up long term because he's 18. Like that, sky's the limit. Holy shit!
Now my GP thing does not come to fruition, which probably won't. What do you think would be a good opponent for him next?
Do you book him with Yuki Motoya?
Not post that. Yuki could win that though.
Yes,
he could. I don't think he would. I don't think he would, but you never know of Yuki. He's like Ogi Kubo 135.
Would you book him with Shoko Sato?
No, I would not. I don't bring Shoko Sato or Juntaro Ushiku back.
Fair enough.
I'm going to be an asshole right now. I blame both of them for that fight.
Okay.
135. Let me just think. Yushi. So he would destroy Yushi, but
how about Kashimura?
Sorry?
How about Kashimura?
Oh, I mean, he did say he wanted to get on the Nagoya show, so maybe. But the Yushi fight will get him a lot of eyes.
Yeah. Or how about is there like a breaking down? I was thinking Joe Hiromoto actually.
I thought it was 125. Oh no, sorry. I mean, I'm an idiot. Yo, he fought Yushi. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was thinking Joe Hiromoto.
It kind of has that Hiromoto JTT rivalry as well with it. That's kind of good.
Or would you be so bold as to book him in with maybe Ryuya Fukuda?
Oh boy,
or is it too soon?
That's too soon. But we think Judge Holden. Kyomo stated he wanted to win the RIZIN Bantamweight and Featherweight belts. Good luck at Featherweight. That's all I'll say.
It's a deep division.
Yeah, that is a deep division.
And he needs to grow more.
Oh yeah, I forgot Joe Hiromoto is on that deep show. I say you have to put him up against one of those prospects, a Joji Goto, a Shohei Noze. I want to see that. I really want to see that.
Well, isn't Goto on the on the November deep show as well?
Yes, yeah. Put him against Shohei Noze or like you said, Kashimura. I want to see I like prospect versus prospect fights. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I like them because it helps, shows us who should advance. Listen, if you put him against an old guy like Shoko Sato, who can win, What's the other name you gave? Yuki Motoya.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a chance that they lose that fight and then they lose that momentum.
How about you book him with Kuramoto?
He could still lose that. Kuramoto's wrestling is really good.
It is, but at the same time, it's Greco-Roman, so you have to get inside.
That's true. That's true. I just because here's the thing with the prospect thing. If you put prospect versus prospect, if one loses, you can still push the other one. You have your veteran beat your thing. I mean, this is like what happened to Ota.
Mm-hmm.
Gets beat by Tokyo on his first fight, then gets defeated by Yuki Motoya.
Mm-hmm.
Then gets wins. Gets defeated by Shoko Sato in that last minute fight. Now he gets that's the problem is that it stalls their development and their push as a fighter. I think. Kyouma says the colon says put him with Koichi Ishizuka.
That's another veteran who's dangerous for that type.
That's another fighter who I've not heard of in a long time.
Yeah.
Kobe Day says UFC needs to stop signing these guys like Akimoto for their 23 less than 15 fights. They're overfishing, but that's their business strategy. They can do that.
Cheap.
They have the money. Yeah. RTU, David White's Contender Series, or 12-12, 13-13, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are right about that. That's why we have not seen him, I don't think.
And he lost the bantamweight title to what was it, Deep Black?
Yeah, he lost it. Then he was
Black Combat.
No, he lost to Takizawa. I thought.
Was it?
I don't know. That deep bantamweight title is a fucking horror. It gets passed around. Oh no, he beat. Who the fuck did he beat? Did he beat Koro? I think he beat.
Maybe.
He beat Koro. I don't remember. Somebody else can find it. Andrew, we've been doing with Ensign Inoue co-host. Sorry for not remembering his name since Ensign has been sentenced to jail.
David?
Yes.
Dave?
No. What's his name? Jim Ozeki.
Ozeki, that's right. Yes,
we're planning. He and I are planning to storm Alcatraz to break Ensign. Well, he'll be back on at some point. I didn't know it was a sentencing. Was it a sentencing? Did he actually get sentenced?
He got a suspended sentence, I thought.
I have no idea what that means. What is this? So does that mean like he can't leave Japan for 2 years or something?
I think something like that, but he isn't going.
That's a punishment. That sounds like
so he's not going to. He's not in jail.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We're gonna continue on. We don't have that many more fights because they didn't last that long. Mr. Zulu wheel kicked Joe Arai. Did you see that wheel kick that he did, or that spinning kick? I should have put spinning kick. That was awesome.
It was.
Yeah. Zulu. A lot of people doubted Zulu. They thought that Joe Arai. Yeah. Someone said that Joe Arai should only fight at strawweights at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think so. He looks very small for 125.
He does, but also look at who he faced. He faced Zulu. He took this fight with Hiroya way too early. Yeah, I would give him another chance at 125.
I would try to make a fight. I would try to make a strawweight division, but
you're gonna be importing fighters from Thailand and maybe I don't know who else in Japan. Does Pancras have a strawweight? I think Pancras has a male strawweight division.
They do, I think, or they did.
I don't think does Deep still.
I don't know. Maybe it's Haru Oochi. I don't know.
I thought it was flyweight now.
Regardless, Zulu looked good. I thought Arai was landing a little bit, but once again, no defense, no chin.
Okay. By the way, Kobe says Ishizuka lost in Black Combat, Su Young Yu, then won against Akira Haraguchi. Gotcha. Thank you for that. Someone suggested Zulu versus Kyoji Horiguchi for the title since there's really nobody else. I might be inclined to agree with that.
Why not put Zulu against, I don't know, John Dotson?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Because I don't think Kyoji's gonna be fighting in RIZIN anytime soon.
Wait, is Dotson? Dotson's not doing Is he 125?
Yeah,
I thought it was 135 in RIZIN.
I thought he was flyweight. I thought he fought. Oh my god.
He fought Oyukubo.
Yeah, 125.
I thought that was at bantamweight.
I thought it was at 125. I could be wrong. Who did he fight? Who else did he?
He fought Tokuro. He fought Soya.
But that was BKFC. Sakamoto. Oh my god, Tatsuki Samoto.
Okay, who's also
Samoto.
Good point. I think you might be right. Yeah, Dodson versus Zulu, I think would be a fucking amazing fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would give Joe Arai a chance. I would have him fight one or two more times. And
what about Arai versus Tokuro?
No, I would put Arai. How about with Urson?
Urson could knock him out.
I mean, once
I also don't know what is Urson's status. Does he want to? Because he takes these weird long layoffs.
Okay.
Now he comes from a wealthy family. He doesn't have to do this. No. So this sounds like one of those things like, oh, when I feel like fighting, I feel like fighting.
Yeah. Maybe you put him. Maybe Memman Mamadov. Or do you put him in with Yusaku Nakamura? Maybe.
No, because Yusaku Nakamura will win somehow.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to. He's not supposed to win, but he'll somehow beat Arai.
And then have Joe Arai win or go back to Shudo, win one or two, bring him back maybe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I kind of joked when we talked about his fight. Oh, he won this long losing streak, then he went on this long winning streak. Now I wonder if he's gonna go on this long losing streak. I kind of feel bad. I kind of spoke that into existence. I feel.
Hopefully that's not the case.
Where did you say the state of 125 is at this point? Do you think it's stable? Do you think it's a mess?
I think it's a mess because the champion doesn't really fight all that much in RIZIN.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and I do think they need a little more. There's fighters out there. They just need to bring them in.
Yeah. What about Arai versus that 125er Kazakhstani who missed weight? Remember him? The guy that Nakamura beat? Remember it was that Kazakhstani 125er? He missed weight. It was like his first fight in 3 years. And then
I think vaguely
they gave Juan 2 chances. I say, why not this guy?
Yeah, very true. I don't remember the guy's name. I'd have to look it up. I really would.
So he doesn't think that Komede doesn't think that Horiguchi will fight 12:31. I don't know. I think he will. I
would think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Because if the PFL Bellator thing is involved, I think he's still signed with Bellator.
Is that what is that why? Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Will he fight a third fight with Pettis?
No. Everybody in the chat, do you want to see a third fight between Pettis and Horiguchi? Also, Jay Wolf, if you're in this chat, you're disqualified from answering. So yeah. I'm going to guess that probably the majority is no, they don't want to see that. If you want to do Pettis versus Zulu, I think that's fine. I think it's a fine fight. Not Arai. Arai will not come out with his brain cells in that fight. Falling Star says, do you think Bara should consider buying New Japan or Noah? That alone would bring RIZIN name to wrestling publications and media. Bara seemed to like pro wrestling, haven't started it. So the thing about New Japan, though, is that they're owned by a big ass company called Bushiroad, and they also have stakes are owned by what's it called TBSI. Yeah, both are infinitely bigger than Dream Factory. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't Bushiroad bleeding money anyway?
Yes, that's the other thing. Well, that's the thing. If Bushiroad wants to sell it, they can at any moment because that New Japan is in the shitter right now. Noah is my favorite Japanese wrestling promotion right now. So no, I love their fake MMA stuff that they do with Josh Barnett, Masakatsu Funaki, and Okazaki. Now here's the thing though. Here's what Bara should have done. Bara, if he had known that Kanye was going to be in Japan, I would have said, Kanye, here are free tickets to RIZIN. Here's some
Kage?
free merch. Was that?
Kage?
No, Kanye West.
Ah,
They should have offered him the royal treatment to RIZIN to be front row. And yeah, I think that would have been some wild publicity for RIZIN that Kanye West is front row at a Japanese MMA show. I think he should have done that. And then the curtain jerker match. We not much to say about it. Dautbek folded Karate Kinoshita.
yeah, that was a hell of a knockout. He's ready for I like you said, would love to see him in with Shaydullaev.
Yeah, there's no other fight to make. Like if I will almost any other fights that is booked that these
Maybe
guys
Kolesnik?
No,
Or
don't care.
Ilham Nazimov?
Don't care. It's Dautbek versus Shaydullaev because we've seen one finishes by striking, the other one finishes by submitting. They both finished their respective fights in the first round. They're only RIZIN fights. Nazimov struggled with Sora Yamamoto. I shouldn't say struggled, but even though he dominated, he still was it wasn't the impact finish that Dautbek and Shaydullaev have had.
Right.
So yeah. And especially because both are probably on RIZIN, UFC's watch list. Karate Kinoshita. What do you do with this gentleman?
He goes back to deep.
Yeah.
I mean, not much to say with that. I mean, he got blown out.
Say what you will about him, but like he at least comes to scrap. I give him that.
He could if he wins in deep once or twice, bring him back. Undercard. He's a good undercard fighter. Nothing wrong with that.
He destroyed Deep's biggest prospect, Hiroto Gomio, in their match.
Yeah, he was another one I was thinking I forgot about, but I was thinking about. He lost recently again, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Kobe says, one of those showcases that burns a fight on a contract. Dumb shit. Dautbek versus Roberto on New Year's Eve. Shay versus No. Here's because they are both going to go to UFC at some point. And the way you stall that is by having one of them lose. That's how we have to book. That's how RIZIN has to unfortunately book now. They have to now think, okay, we could lose this guy to UFC. And here's the thing. It makes sense because they both have won their most recent RIZIN fights in the first round, finished them. And one has been by striking, one has been by submissions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, Dautbek versus Hiromoto does
nothing for Hiromoto.
Yeah. It's a fight that Hiromoto could love.
And it's too risky.
Shay versus Karamov is interesting, but still, like, no. It's still not an interesting matchup. Dautbek versus, and you may not like it, but yeah, listen, if at least one of them loses, and you can still keep them, presumably, and their path to UFC is kind of stalled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you agree with me, Mike? Please tell me you agree with me.
I do. In that case, yeah. I mean, I would not book either of those fights. One, the Hiromoto thing is too dangerous. You got to protect your biggest draw at this point, I think. I hate booking that way, but until you build new ones, you don't really have a choice.
Who's Hiromoto going to fight New Year's Eve? Do you do the Ampo fight? Since the do you do Ampo versus Hiromoto
in kickboxing or in MMA?
In MMA, I don't think that I don't see Hiromoto submitting.
That's still, I would go him versus. I think him versus Kubo is the fight to make.
I'm not opposed to Takagi either. Takagi, since he's not going to fight Chihiro for the title.
Right. I would book Yuta Kubo because of the K1 ties.
Yeah. But also here, the Ampo red match is still a big match that could still be done, I think.
Yeah, but since Ampo is 0-1 in MMA, I mean, if you do mixed rules, I'm not opposed to that, but I would not do straight MMA with those two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not. That's fine. That's fine. With that being said, Mr. Mike, I ask you kindly, did you have 3 finishes of the night and a fight of the night?
Yes. 3 finishes. 1, Satoshi versus Gustavo. 2 would be Shaydullaev versus Juan Archuleta. 3, Dautbek. And then
Easy.
fight of the night. What?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No problem. And then fight of the night, Kanna against Izawa.
Very easy answers for me. Naoki over Soo-Chul Kim, Dautbek over Karate, and Shaydullaev over Juan. And then, Friday night, Kanna versus Seika. I wish they could coax Kanna out of a rematch, to do like a rematch. Now I'm thinking about it, I'll be like, put the title on the line. Because she put Izawa through hell. 5 rounds, New Year's Eve.
When are they going to make title fights 5 rounds?
Good question. No idea. Probably never. Do you think RIZIN will go Suzuki and Ren or Suzuki and Pitbull for New Year's? I think that a major hold to start the hype for New Year's. That's why I start. I don't think they're going to do Suzuki and Ren. Suzuki and Pitbull, unfortunately, might happen. Unfortunately.
If there's a Bellator show, but that being said, that is not a strong enough fight to headline New Year's Eve.
Well, let's see how that Bellator France show goes. Right. Oh, wait, never mind.
No, I'm saying if it happens, it's a good main event for that portion. But as far as headlining New Year's Eve itself, no, it's not.
No, don't care. Either Pitbull, I don't care. just to clarify. Mr. Mike, where can people reach you?
I don't use social media, but on the Discord, I'm at Mike S, and my email is msult7@aol.com.
Yep, that's the RIZIN FF Discord. Please join so we can all just shit post on RIZIN and praise USC. You can follow Jay Krish. By the way, if he needs a co-host. You can contact him on Twitter, X, JKrishGary, and also his project, Focus Fights. That's our link tree that you can reach him through. And if you want to annoy J Wolf, which I suggest you doing, tell him how much you love one in UFC. You can do it on his Twitter, X, and then follow We Are RIZIN Pod. I just want to say thank you everybody who tuned in. Always appreciate everybody who tunes in and listen to us bloviate and just talk shit and all that stuff. I don't know why you people do it to take your evenings out to do it, but it's appreciated. And guess we'll be seeing you for Nagoya next month. Take care, everybody.
Later.